A woman may do more in a relationship, but a man will never forget. And this is very, very important for women mostly to understand. So I'm going to explain to y'all what that means so you guys can have a better concept of dating and relationships. See you soon. Yo, what's going on YouTube? You already know who it is. It's your boy Tyreek Grants coming back to you with another video. So I'm going to tell you guys today about something that I feel like women really need to understand and get this concept. Just informative information and I feel like every woman should know. So this is mostly made for the women out here. So I know a lot of women, mostly when you're in a relationship with a man, generally speaking, most women, when they're in love with a man, they do more in the relationship. It's just proven. It's proven. If you guys don't believe me, go ahead and look up the facts. But a woman is more likely to do more and put more effort in than the man. I'm not saying that all men don't put in effort. Sometimes it can be 50-50. There are men that put in more effort than the woman in a relationship. You know what I mean? But just statistically, women will put more energy and effort into a relationship. So if you're a woman, you will love harder when you're with the man. That means you might cook for him, you might have his back, you might wash his clothes, you might show up to all the things that you don't even care for, but you do it because you love him. You might do all these things and you do it because you love him. So a woman's most likely going to put all of your energy into the relationship that you're in. That's just naturally how your guys' instincts is. But a man will never forget. And what do I mean by this? Because I feel like this is very, very important. So let's say, you are in a relationship and it doesn't work out. Like, let's say you're in a relationship with a guy for like a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever the case may be. And maybe you get sick of him not putting as much effort as in to the relationship as you would like, or maybe it just doesn't work out because you feel like you deserve more in the relationship. Maybe you're giving him so much love and energy and then the guy isn't really reciprocating or matching it, and rightfully so. You should move on and find something that makes you more happier and you feel like you should be able to get what you want too. But that's not really the main point of this video. It's more so what kind of comes after that. I feel like is very important. So basically what I'm saying is, usually when men and women split, you both experience heartbreak, right? Like, especially if you're in a long-term relationship and you spent time and a lot of time with this person, you're going to usually experience some kind of heartbreak. And usually both parties, for the most part, take some time to, heal their souls and figure out where they want to go next before, maybe going about putting themselves back out there and finding someone new, when the time is right. So my whole point is, the one thing I really wish one would understand, and it's just informative, is a lot of times men, we take it always harder. And the reason why is because there is an attachment that men will forever have with almost every woman that we will ever date, right? We all move on. Like, if you're a healthy man, you move on and you meet someone new, sure, right? But my whole point is, generally speaking, as a woman, like, when you move on, you meet someone else, right? Generally speaking, whenever you're ready, right? And in 3, 5, 7 years from now, that person that you dated might just be a memory, right? Like, maybe you'll have a memory of them. Maybe, you'll tell your new person about them because they want to know about who you dated before or whatever, right? But generally speaking, right, you're like, they're just a memory, like a footnote in your life. You know what I mean? But I would say 90% of men, even if it's been 7 or 8 years, they still have thoughts of you. It doesn't necessarily mean they want to get back with you, but most men will always feel some type of attachment to you. So I don't care if this man has got a wife, 2, 3 kids, whatever, right? There's always going to be an attachment to you. Like, men, we will never fully ever let go completely. We'll move on. We'll meet someone new. We'll get married. We'll have kids with someone. But you'll never ever forget, basically that person that you dated. For us, it's like a special thing. Like, especially if the man screwed up in the relationship, he's gonna always feel some type of resentment and anger at himself because he felt like he could have done more in the relationship, or he'll always think to himself, what could I have done differently, or I should have done this, or I should have done that. And yeah, you will heal, you'll move on, but there always will be the what if in a man's mind. I know a lot of guys that are much older than me that 30, 40, 50 years later, I'm older gentlemen, right? and they will still have thoughts about someone they dated when they were really, really young and thinking, damn, I wish I have done better things to see where that would have went. Not saying that they're not happy with the person they're with or they didn't move on, but a lot of times they still feel that. Like, they feel like, what would have happened if I had the experience and the maturity that I do now? You know what I mean? Most men will take it to the grave and still have thoughts. Like, even me, right? I have a lot of exes, right? And I've moved on, I'm dating and all that stuff, right? But I can never say I can ever fully forget about my exes. Why? Because I'm a guy, and those women were a part of my life. And it's always those things where you'd always think about, what if things were different? What if things could have worked out, right? And I feel like for women, it's usually much easier to like kind of move on from that, where most men, you never really fully move on from that idea, but you just kind of accept and you live your life. You know what I mean? That's kind of why a lot of men, when you lose a woman, they get very possessive, controlling, and are needy and clinging and are desperate, because they don't ever fully want to let you go. Most men will never fully be able to let you go. I always say that most men walking this earth, they'll let you go and they'll accept it, but they'll never fully move on. They'll just accept the fact that you weren't their person. You know what I mean? And they will live their lives. You know, they'll go out, they'll meet people, they'll date, they'll do everything they can, right? But my biggest message into this, if you are a woman, especially listening to this, is I think that there's a big difference between how men and women, we heal and we move on. I think that most women you will love much harder, you'll do much more in the relationship. But a man, I've talked to a lot of men in my life, having conversations, and most men I've talked to that haven't even been a woman 5, 6, 7 years, they'll still say once or twice a week, they might still have memories of that person, thinking, damn, I could have done things differently, or I could have done this or this and this. Why? Because a man will forever be attached to things that didn't work out with a woman. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of how we are. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that they're not moved on and meeting someone. It just means that that's just how men are. So women, that's kind of what I want to tell you guys about men, if you guys did not know that, because I feel like it's very important for you guys to kind of have a better idea of how men are. But if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and please turn on those notifications, and I will see you guys in the next video. This has been your boy Tariq. Peace.